Here's a simple question for you. How many vowel sounds does English have? Did some of you say 5? Maybe some of you said 10 because English has 5 vowels. Each vowel makes 2 sounds. That makes 10, right? 10 must be the right answer. Actually, English has between 15 and 20 vowel sounds. Are you feeling a little discombobulated? You felt like you knew all about the vowels in English, and now I'm telling you there's 15 to 20 vowel sounds? Don't worry. By the end of today's video, you are going to feel comfortable with all of these sounds. Hello everyone, my name is Bakul Soman. Welcome back to my channel. And as you can imagine, today's video is all about vowels. This is the second in my series about accents, and vowel production actually plays a very significant role in the type of accent that you are perceived to have. In fact, vowel production is a very key way in which the different dialects of English vary from one another. So one of the main differences between Australian English and British English and American English and South African English is the way that the vowels are produced. There are some other differences as well, but in terms of sound production, vowel production is what differs. So we all know that English has 5 letters that represent vowel sounds. A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, okay? However, English is not a very phonetic language. So yes, there are 5 vowel letters, let's call them, but there are 15 to 20 different sounds that they create, okay, depending on the specific combinations and the specific word, all right? Why 15 to 20? Why don't we have a very specific number? It's because linguists can't agree on which sounds should be considered variations of a specific vowel sound or which sound should be characterized as its own distinct vowel sound. Okay, but we're not going to get caught in the weeds with all that today. Today, we're going to review primary vowel sounds that are commonly used in American English, and there are a couple sounds in there that are often used in British English. Those are the 2 that I'm more familiar with, so I'm not going to tackle Australian English, South African English. We're not going to go there. But if any of you speak any of those dialects, I would love to hear from you in terms of how you produce these sounds differently when you speak. All right? Let's get started. You know me, I always like to start with the why. Okay, so why are vowels important? Vowels are the glue that hold words together. You cannot have a word without a vowel sound. Every syllable in every word needs to have a vowel at its center. Okay, so vowels are very common. Every single word is going to have one of those 15 to 20 sounds in it, sometimes more than one sound. The other important thing to recognize is that in English, and probably in most languages, vowels are a distinctive feature. What that means is if you keep all the rest of the sounds the same, but change the vowel, you create a different word. So listen to these words. They all have the same consonant sound, but a different vowel sound. Bit, bet, bat, but, bot. Beat, bait, bot, boat, boot, Bert, bite. All of these have the same consonants but different vowel sounds, and they create a different word. Okay? So if you are not careful and if you are interchangeably using some vowel sounds, you are inadvertently using words other than the ones that you intended to use. Okay? So that's why you have to be very careful and make sure you're using the right vowel sound in the right word. As we go through all our vowels today, what I want you to do is I want you to listen and make sure that you can discriminate each sound. You can hear each sound as a distinct sound. And this may be hard for some of you, especially if your native language does not have that sound in it, okay? So I want you to pay really close attention as we go through these vowel sounds. If there are certain sounds where you're like, it sounds the same to me, those are the ones you have to pay attention to because that's where you are probably using them interchangeably and maybe confusing the people you're talking to because you're saying words other than the ones you intended to say. Okay, So in terms of sound production, what is a vowel? A vowel is a sound that is produced with a very open vocal tract. We're not using any constriction with our lips, our teeth, our tongue. We're keeping this tract, our oral and pharyngeal cavity, we're keeping open for vowel production, okay? And vowels are voiced. Our vocal cords are vibrating when we say our vowel sounds, except if you're whispering. Okay, but typically in our regular speech, vowels are voiced. When we talk about vowels, there are 4 features that we use to understand each vowel sound. Okay, the first one is tongue height. How high in your mouth, how close to the roof of your mouth is the body, the bulk of your tongue. Okay, so tongue height is the first one. You can have high vowels and low vowels. Okay. Second one is tongue advancement. So on a horizontal axis, how far forward or back is your tongue inside your mouth? All right. Third one is tension. How much or how little muscle tension is being used to produce that vowel sound? And the fourth one is lip rounding. Are your lips rounded? Are they neutral? Are they retracted? What are you doing with your lips? So once again, the 4 features are tongue height, tongue advancement, tension, and lip rounding. Okay, so as we're going through each of those sounds, we're going to be talking about that. It seems like it's a lot of information, right? But linguists and speech pathologists use a very nifty graphic that puts it all together. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. You're going to love it. Okay, so this is called the vowel quadrilateral. All right, and it has all 4 of those features embedded in there. Along the top, you can see back, central, front. This is referring to the tongue advancement, back vowels, central vowels, front vowels. Okay, along this axis here, we have tongue height, high, mid, and low. Okay, any of the vowel sounds that I have written in red are tense sounds. That means there is more muscle tension that is employed when you make those sounds. Okay? And anything that has a yellow circle around it are rounded sounds. Okay? So all 4 features are mapped onto this one graphic. All right, so we are going to review each of these vowel sounds, and you will notice that there are some weird looking symbols in there. Those are symbols from the International Phonetic Alphabet. Okay, and that is a much better way to think about and learn vowel sounds as compared to the vowel letters, the A, E, I, O, U, because as we said, English is not a very phonetic language. Okay, so it's not really overwhelming. You don't have to know these by heart. I have a PDF for you in the description, so make sure you download it, make sure you print it out, keep it handy. And you can always refer to it if you're not sure how to pronounce a word. If you go to a dictionary online, they will have the transcription. So writing how a word sounds using the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, is called a transcription. So they will have a transcription of the word, and you can refer to this PDF to try and figure out exactly what's going on, what sound they are using, what vowel sounds are being used. Okay, so let's get started. The first group of vowel sounds that we're going to talk about are the front vowels. All right, and these vowels are the most frequently occurring vowels in English. About 50% of the sounds tend to be front vowels. Okay, the first sound in our front vowel series is going to be this one here, E. It is a tense sound, high tongue height, and it's a front sound. Okay, no lip rounding. E, E, beat, feet, seat, meet. The next one is this sound here, eh, 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 bit, pin, lip, mini, eh. Now we're down to the middle of our mouth in terms of tongue height. We are going to talk about the A sound. Okay, don't be confused. It's the letter E, but in the phonetic alphabet, that is the A sound, as in the word bait, mate, fate, rate, A. All right, so we're in the middle of our mouth in terms of tongue height now. A little lower down, we have the eh. bet, pet, let, met, and then closer to the floor of the mouth, we have our last front vowel sound, which is the ah, ah. So the tongue is lowest for this sound. Ah, bat, fat, cat, rat, mat, map. Okay, ah. So let's review the front vowel sounds one more time. E, I, A, ah. All right. Now we're going to move on to the central vowel sounds, which are the next most frequently occurring group of vowel sounds. The one that looks like an upside down E over here, it is the sound, okay? It is an unstressed vowel sound, which means it only occurs in unstressed syllables. So if you take a word like a but means to be adjoining something. A but, that first, the letter A in there makes the sound okay? And it's that unstressed sound. So a but, it's very fast. A but, okay? It's not tense. There's no lip rounding. The next one is the sound. It is rounded. It is tense. It's used a lot in American English. Bert, her, Kurt. Okay, it's that sound. All right. So some of these they have an R attached to them. Okay, but they're still considered vowels. This here, without the little tail on it, is think of it as this sound without the R. Okay, so it would be, this is used more in British English, so it would be the her without that R coloring on it. Okay, so her car. All right, not the greatest British accent, but you get the idea. The next one here, which is essentially this unstressed sound, but the little tail on it, is an R. It has an R coloring as well. So it is also an unstressed vowel, and it would be this last ER sound in the word butter, butter. Okay, very fast. It is unstressed. There is lip rounding, butter, butter. Okay, so these two are unstressed, and these two are stressed. Okay, one has no R attached to it, and one does. No R attached to it. This one does. This is used more in British English. Okay. The one here that looks like the caret editing symbol is the stressed version of this. This is also called the schwa, by the way. So it's the stressed version of the schwa. Okay. So it is used in stressed syllables. So it's a word like but, that more stress. It's a longer sound, but, as opposed to a but. Okay. That first is the unstressed sound, and here but, that is the stressed sound. Down here, this script A is not typically used in American English. There are a few Eastern dialects that will use it, and this would be like in British English, bath, dance, path. Okay, so that sound, not used very often in American English. All right, now let's move on to, let's review these one more time. Okay, a but, that first unstressed, this is the without the R, and this is the unstressed butter, butter. This is the stressed sound, but, mutt, rut. And this here is typically in British English, bath, path. All right, now let's move on to the back vowels. Our high back vowels, so high tongue height, but in the back is the oo sound. Lips are rounded. Ooh, ooh, boot, loot, shoot. This one here is the sound. It's also rounded. Book, look, should. Down, now we're in the middle in terms of tongue height. We're at the mid-mouth level. Oh, boat, float, goat, gloat. All right. Oh, lip rounded. It's a tense sound. Farther down, we're moving down to the floor of our mouth. Bought, orange, moral, ah, ah. Okay, it's tense and it is rounded. Ah, 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 bot, cot, lot. There's something interesting about these two sounds. In American English, there isn't always a clear distinction between ah and ah. So the word bot, like I bought something, and a bot, like a chat bot or like a robot, bot, they may sound the same. Or caught, I caught a fish, and caught that you lay down on, caught, bought, bought, might sound exactly the same. So in American English, those two are not always distinguished, but in British English, they are. Okay? So just another interesting tidbit. Okay, so let's review our back vowels again. Ooh, boot, ooh, book, oh, boat, ah, bought, ah, bought. All right, so there are our 16 vowels that are used commonly in British and American English. Should we go through one more time and review all of them? Let's do that, okay? E, beat, I, bit, a, bait, bet, a, bat, a butt, that first sound. Bird, it's a stressed sound. The same sound without the R coloring, not used much in American English. Unstressed sound. Better, that last in better, okay? But, always a stressed sound. But. Bath, path, dance, not used much in American English, except in some Eastern dialects. Okay, here we go. Back sounds. Ooh, boot, rounded and tense. Rounded but lax. Book, look. Oh, rounded, tense. Boat. Ah, rounded, tense. Bought. Not rounded, not tense. But. Okay, remember, American English, people don't always distinguish between these two. Okay, they can be used interchangeably. Actually, this is used more. This is not used very often. All right, okay, so those are our vowels, but it doesn't end there. So how many do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so we have 16 vowel sounds, but we also have 5 diphthongs. Okay, what in the world are diphthongs? Diphthongs are essentially 2 vowel sounds that are used together. Okay, so your tongue essentially is making 2 vowel sounds consecutively within one syllable. All right, so your tongue, let me just show you what the diphthongs are and then we'll talk about them. Okay, so here is the first diphthong. Okay, so it has the A and the I sound together. So your tongue is moving from A to E. A, 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 A. And the words would be bay, pay, pale, bail. Okay, A, that's a diphthong. You are saying 2 vowel sounds, smushing them together. Kind of like a vowel cluster. The next diphthong is O, 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 bow, ho, mo, O. Again, from O to O, O, O. The third diphthong is ow, 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 house, crown, account, owl. The third diphthong is I, buy, aisle. Okay, so even though I said that this a sound is not used in American English, it's not used by itself, but you will notice that that a sound is in a couple of diphthongs, ow and I. All right, so it's not used by itself. I should have made that clear. Okay, next diphthong, oi, 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 boy, coil, enjoy. All right, so you're going from aw to I, oi, oi. You can feel your tongue moving inside your mouth to get from one sound to the next sound. Okay, so we have our 5 diphthongs. All right, so today we talked about what a vowel is, why it is important. We looked at the vowel quadrilateral and discussed all the different vowel sounds, including diphthongs, and we talked about them in terms of their tongue height, tongue advancement, tension, and lip rounding. All right, so like I said, as you were going through these, if there were specific sounds that you were like, I don't hear it, I don't hear the difference, it sounds the same to me as this other sound, then that's where you need to be paying attention, because you are probably switching those two sounds. And it's very likely you're doing it because your native language doesn't have that distinction. Okay, so if there are specific vowel sounds that you're having trouble with, let me know and I will create some word lists that allow you to work specifically on discriminating between those two sounds. All right, I hope you learned something interesting. Today it was all about vowels. Next week we're going to tackle consonant sounds, so make sure you tune back in. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please leave me comments. I love to hear from you, and I will see you next time.